This is one of my favorite routes on his tape. Motions into flanker. This guy, I would call this a soft press because this guy is up on the line of scrimmage. He can put hands on him within a yard. Uh, but because this is a reduced split, he's not all the way out here on the sideline. It's a reduced split. He has, outside leverage. There's a lot of distance for him to be able to separate toward the pylon or toward the back corner of the end zone. And so what he does is he takes his outside foot, he puts it further behind him, further behind this inside foot to widen his angle out to the sideline. This is a speed release, and taking the outside shoulder, and he really pushes off this back foot to get a big step toward this outside foot, toward his outside foot. He's attacking that outside foot, so he goes, he puts this foot behind him to widen his angle, pushes off, speed release, then puts a little jab, one step stretch on him. There's the speed release, and then he puts a little one step stretch and runs the slant. It's so nice. Oh god, it's so good. It's so good. It's just knowledge, This is just route running acumen, knowing the leverage and the technique that you can pair with it. Speed release, jab, dunzo, gone. Just burnt. This is a nice route and catch by our man Germie here. I call this a split end or X alignment. Some people would refer to this as slot because of the width is in more of the slot range, but because he's the split end in this formation, he's on the line of scrimmage covering the tackle, and he's pressed up with a press man defender. I call this an X rep, although there are advantages to being in a tight split like he is all the way out to that hashes. He's running a bench route or deep out cut, and because there's this natural leverage, the distance between him and the sideline here, his goal is really just to win outside leverage, get to the outside of this defender's outside shoulder, outside foot, and in order to do that, he takes a step back release just to create a little bit of space between him and the defender. He doesn't use this release often, but it works well in this situation. He puts hands on him early, fights through contact, and then re-stems the route vertically and breaks out. The ball hangs in the air here for a little bit, it wobbles. He breaks upfield to track this, and then watch his feet along the sideline. Boop. That is not easy. That is not an easy rep. This is an interesting aspect of his game. The sideline catches and the some of the yak plays after catch, tiptoeing along the sideline is not only the footwork on the release or through the breaks, it's also after the catch or at the catch point. His feet are just fleet. He's fleet-footed, organized feet at all times. Rub concept, very much schemed up, but I just like the way that his head and shoulders kind of, sell the inbreaker at the top of the route, and he just has such deceptive, inconspicuous body language in all of his routes, and such sudden deceleration that, there's no time for either of these defenders to break on the ball in a timely manner, and then every time this guy catches the ball, he jukes a guy out. I mean, these lateral movements are just so easy for him. This one is another mostly schemed up win, but again, it's the body language and the suddenness of Germie Bernard here as a flanker in a stack, reduced split. It's a outbreaker combined with this clear out fade, and these guys are playing quarters coverage, it looks like, but this guy just manages to sell the dig just long enough to get this guy to take the vertical when this guy also takes the vertical, and the outside man abandons the the possibility or the option of Germie Bernard breaking out on the bench route, another bench route. Watch his head and shoulders. It just looks like he's running that dig route the whole time. And so the outside defender takes the vertical. Watch this defender, how Germie is able to flip this guy's hips toward the sideline before he breaks inside. You could argue that's just the defender playing a sort of half-turn technique. But this guy really sells the vertical. And then, you know, his shoulders, his chest and shoulders are steady and relaxed. And he doesn't rise or sink before the break. And then he puts a little move on him too. Body language, defenders never feel the dig break coming when it comes to Germie Bernard, and this is a play that gets, you know, makes money in the NFL. This dig route versus split safety zone. This is 40 mil a year. This guy just can't react fast enough to the suddenness in his break. Another nice zone beater out of the slot here. Low cross. I think, like, is it a mesh? Flat. Gears down. Puts couple little moves. You know, when a guy is catching the ball and also sees a guy in his peripheral and puts a juke on a guy while he's catching the ball, it's so cool. And again, the deceleration over the middle of the field, not running himself into coverage here. Settle. He mixes his tempos a lot, not just as a man beater, but his own beater as well, to settle into these little windows. Oh man, Germie puts another guy in a blender. Oh no. One thing I like about this play, Ty Simpson gives his man his most trusted possession target little hand signal. I don't know if he's saying yes sir. It looks more like he's saying what. But let's watch this route. He puts some sort of inside move on him. I don't even really know what happens here, but he attacks the inside foot, breaks out, and then spins him around again. Oh my goodness. Germie. What are we gonna do with you? Oh, it's so good. Sorry if that noise was offensive to your ears, but the shoulders, man. The shoulders. Oh my goodness. This player is such an obvious superstar. Maybe not obvious. It's obviously not obvious, you know. He's not a Julio Jones or a Calvin Johnson or even a Jamar Chase or whatever. Guys, if you know what you're looking for in terms of body language, footwork, just persuasive movement, and my argument is that traits or tools, wide receiver is not a traits or tools position. And when you talk about ceiling for a wide receiver, you're going to end up misleading yourself, because the most productive receivers are the ones like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, guys that are, have these huge 17, 18, 1900 yard seasons, are ones that are just doing stuff like this. Wiggle. I like this route. This ball goes incomplete. Um, I think it could be a better throw, could be a better attempt at catching the ball by Germie. Really, it's just great defense, but it's also a great route here. He doesn't exactly like separate, cre- create a whole lot of distance between him and the defender, but he does get over the top of him on this red zone fade. He's X split end, um, almost to the numbers there, and this release is very precise, has nice foot fire as well as a extra tempo to it. Like he goes slow and then fast in an interesting way. And throughout this cut up, we're gonna see a lot of one-step stretch, just a simple jab step. This one's a double up where he goes left, right, out. Right to the outside shoulder. He taps that left inside foot twice, and is able to move number one, one step to the inside so that he can blow by his outside shoulder, get behind him, and this throw is just a little bit flat and hot, but it's a nice release in my opinion. Just a flat, hot throw, put a little bit of air under it. I love that release. I'm gonna put it in slow motion for us. Watch the left foot. And they're pretty even. It's not the best route, but just shows the variance and in both technique, the footwork style, as well as the tempos that he'll use to make himself unpredictable. This is an NFL play here against two zone. Vanderbilt disguises like a two-man, although this guy isn't covered. So Germie recognizes pretty early on that it's two zones. So you got this corner stays in the flat. You got a half field safety. So Germie running some sort of vertical settles into this cover two hole shot, and when you're catching this hole shot, wow, you know that hit's coming. That safety's gonna bear down on you and give you all he's got, and Germie hangs on. That's modern NFL right now. Is lots of split safety zone coverage and just competitive toughness at the catch point is what produces yards right now. Just availing himself to the quarterback, gearing down in that hole, bonk, taking the hit and hanging onto the ball. Fearlessness, zen, emptying the fear out of your mind. He has a map of the field in his head, and this is like I believe it's like a quarters coverage or some sort of zone coverage where these guys are dropping out, and he lets them drop out. He kind of runs this kind of slow, and then he just settles at the sticks and gets his toes in. Just nice awareness of being another dig route. Just the fact that he catches so many digs over the middle of the field is such a good sign, indicator for his success in the NFL, because this is like the whole McVay offense right now, is this levels concepts, multiple in breakers, with a dig. And what I like about this one is he cuts nice and flat across the field, and I don't know if this guy was really going to make a play on the ball, but some receivers, they kind of drift downfield while they're making this sort of while they're running a dig route, and it allows a middle field defender to undercut it. But by running flat and crossing the face of this middle field defender, he's protecting his quarterback from an interception. Ty Simpson fan? Anyone? I like that throw, personally.
This is a pretty remarkable play by Germie. I don't have the all 22 for this game, so we don't get the full picture, but he's running some sort of either like slot fade or maybe a corner, bench, or comeback, some sort of outbreaker. So he stems pretty deep down the field, and this ends up being an extended play by Ty Simpson. 5+ seconds of drop back and scramble out to his right. And Germie Bernard has excellent extended play instincts where he cuts upfield and it avails himself to the quarterback improvisationally and gets right at the sticks. Again, that spatial awareness to end up right at the sticks, and he gets both of his feet in bounds, toe tap and toe drag swag right there at the sticks. He has a very high first down percentage, but look how organized his feet are at all times, whether it's at the release or the break or after the catch or at the catch point here along the sideline. Just incredible football instincts to both get open on the extended play, which is a very common aspect of NFL passing, NFL quarterback play, is these quarterbacks want to keep the play alive, and wide receivers have to know how to get open in those scramble drills and to get to the sticks, especially on those third and medium, third and longs. That's exactly when you see these sorts of plays happen. Another beautifully executed dig route by our boy Germie Bernard here. Split end X versus press man. He combines another speed release layered with a split release and freezes the defender, gets hands on him to wipe off contact, dips his shoulder inside, re-stems the route vertically, stacks him a bit, puts a little head fake at the top of the route, and then breaks inside, absolutely losing the guy. Imagine how productive this guy could be if with more accuracy down the field. Oof, loses him so bad that number 8 tries to pass it off as if it's zone. Oof.
Don't have the all 22 for this game, but we get to see an element of it. He is in the slot versus very off man coverage. Looks like they're playing zero unless there's a safety way down here, and so this guy's playing the sticks, but you can tell he's shaded inside, and Germie sells the end breaker pretty well here. And eventually it's a bench route. You can watch his body language and a little bit of a jab there to get outside leverage on that outbreaker from the inside alignment. Reduced split, but he's the one on the line of scrimmage. He's pressed up. It's still an easier assignment than being outside the numbers on the line of scrimmage because this defender has to worry about a lot of friction, rub, mesh type actions from his defenders and any sort of crossing concepts. There's like a two-way go. He doesn't have the benefit of the boundary, so it's a little bit easier to run a route from this sort of split, but I still call this a split end X on the line of scrimmage, especially when you're pressed up like this. And I believe it's another just one-step stretch. Yep. And he's able to use the threat of the outbreaker since he is in that reduced split. Use the threat of the outbreaker, like head up on him. He freezes him with the jab step, gets his hands on him, wins inside leverage. And when you're manned up, if you're a man coverage defender and somebody has one inside leverage, then you're really afraid of this guy. You have to chase this guy all the way across the field. If this is a post route, you got to chase this guy a long ways. So he's going to overcommit to trailing Germie across the field, and this ends up being a corner route. So since he's against man coverage, he uses this one-step stretch to jab to freeze him up, win inside leverage, get him stacked, and probably off screen, maybe give him a little head fake or something at the top of the route, sell the post, but ends up being a corner route. And clearly he's wide open. And it's just another slightly overthrown ball from Simpson. Over the second half of the year, they had a lot of issues connecting. Well, we get to see the release again. His physicality through the stem of the route, and just the situational tactics of using the leverage of the alignment and pairing it with the route concept to get, you know, that outside jab, inside stem, angle, outside break. Generated a lot of separation. This is one of just dozens of dig routes and in breakers versus zone that Germie Bernard successfully executes, and I'm not including all of them because I'm more interested in like single coverage, press man, where the footwork itself is really what creates the separation. But what I like about this route, and this is a quality to many of his zone beaters, is this stem, at least to me, looks like it's outside angled. It's like an out stem. He's stemming toward this zone defender. I'm guessing it's like quarters or quarter half. And by stemming outside, this guy wants to keep everything in front of him. So by stemming at the defender outside, this guy has to backpedal and respect the fade or corner or outbreaker, and it just gets this guy to backpedal and widen out toward the sideline to create separation for the dig route over the middle. This is, I would say, an advantageous situation for Germie Bernard, seeing as this guy's, you know, a solid 10 plus yards off the line of scrimmage. This guy's kind of in no man's land, I would say, but Germie does a good job of stemming out, you know, makes an out stem toward the defender's feet, threatens the outbreaker, and actually flips this defender's hips toward the sideline before breaking the post route. Just overthrown again. This is a fun little concept. He's in the backfield. He runs an angle route. Does a decent job of selling the flat route before breaking over the middle of the field. But again, this is just Germie showing that he can learn a lot of play calls and execute a lot of different concepts every alignment. I wanted to end on this iconic college football playoff play here in crunch time, fourth quarter. They're mounting a big comeback, and Germie Bernard here at the bottom of the screen. This play is just in case you were getting any sort of thoughts like, can this guy catch the ball or whatever? You know, is he a contested catch winner, as they say? I'll remove any doubt about that here, but I like this route as well. It's another one of those like speed release combined with the one-step stretch, or even you could even call it a double up, just one of these jab move type releases. But he takes the back foot, he widens his angle, even though this guy, he's outside shaded, he's lined up more, you know, across from the outside shoulder or outside foot of Germie Bernard, but he still goes speed release, puts the back foot behind him, widens his angle out to the sideline, then puts a jab step on this guy's inside foot to get past him, past his outside shoulder. Oop. Gets behind him and then does that. Up and over and through contact. Oh my goodness. Not only going up and over, but maintaining possession. Enough. Enough through Gonzaga there.
We're going to go Germie Bernard. Let's get into it, right?
Yeah, please.
You know what I love about his game? It's boring.
Oh, it's so well put.
And I mean in the best way. Like, all he does is get open, catch the ball, knife upfield, make a guy miss, and get what he can.
He just takes a short pitch, and ooh man, this stiff arm is pretty nasty. He's just such a strong dude. I mean, that's number 90. That's number 90 coming at him. Defensive end, 2 hands in the dirt, or 1 hand in the dirt. Defensive end, 90. Helps that weird formation here. Little shovel pass. Crazy vision, crazy elusiveness. The ball in his hand attempt out of the backfield. A sweep handoff. Stiff arm. Reaches through the pylon. A short yardage rushing touchdown by a wide receiver. Slip screen type thing. And, you know, he doesn't make very explosive lateral movements, but they're so effective. Something about, again, body language, the way he's able to persuade defenders, and just sidestepping. And then weaving in and out of blocks here shows his vision. He'll, you know, press the outside shoulder of a block and cut inside. Press the inside shoulder and cut outside. And just look how many Georgia defenders. I'll try to pause it at the right time, or maybe just count them out as they happen. One guy on his knees. Look at how many guys are on the ground. You know, like in how much distance did he really cover? You know, laterally, zigzagging. Not a whole lot, but he's just sidestepping, and he sees it so well. He's just a natural playmaker. He presses the inside shoulder of one of his lead blockers there, gets number 8 to move his helmet to the inside shoulder of the blocker, and then makes a nice jump cut to get the first down. It's funny, if we just labeled this guy a running back, he might be the second best running back in this draft class. I mean, this is exactly how running backs are supposed to play football. Toss pass, 3rd and 1 to the speed out or flat. And what I like about these plays for scouting prospects is the more gadget plays that your player is involved in, that's just more information that this guy has to learn and retain on and apply on game day. You know, this shows a trust in the player and intelligence on the part of the player, especially when you're throwing the ball. When they have you throwing the ball, makes me think of like Tyler Warren last year, Penn State's tight end, who had a great rookie year for Indianapolis. It's just a trust in terms of like ball security, you know, like they can trust Germie Bernard to only throw this if it's there, as well as like this is not that easy of a throw. I know it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards in the air, but on the move, both of y'all on the move, moving the same direction. You know, defenders are in fact there. He has to probably lead him a little bit. And this is one of his 2 completions for the year, and then there's another one that's like a hook and ladder concept where he throws it across the field while he's running. Here's 2 consecutive rushing attempts. A sweep handoff, zone handoff. Puts his hand on his lead blocker's back, paces himself to get the yardage, and then another pin and pull type toss. How does he get out of that? Just strength and balance, man. against Georgia. These are the Bulldogs. There's a couple plays in this Tennessee game where he they get him the ball quick in the flat and he just makes the guy miss just with a sidestep. Not a jump cut or stutter step, spin move. It's a double pass. He's gonna run this like swing pattern, but behind Ty Simpson, so it's a backwards pass so that he can forward pass it. And this shows you the intelligence of Germie Bernard and why you can trust Germie Bernard, because there's nothing open down the field. It's all covered. They don't bite. But Germie makes something out of nothing here. This shows not only his intelligence and trustworthiness, but also his elusiveness and just playmaking instinct. What is that, yo? What? He's still going. Oh man, when you make guys miss like that and you just have the instincts, you got a step back move here. Step back, jump cut ish, stiff arm. You can't tackle him high, you can't tackle him low. Germie. Of course, I should have just kept it rolling. Unnecessary cut. You got another motion swing, juke, spin. Oh my. And that he didn't have very many high production games, like spike weeks, as you might call them. But he was so consistent, because if he wasn't getting open, 10, 20 plus yards down the field, you could just spin him out a swing route a couple times, and he's going to pick it up with his ball carrier ability. Such a creative player.
The ball gets deflected at the line of scrimmage here, and Germie Bernard becomes a defender, gets a PBU. This should be an interception. And I love these plays because they just show reactivity. And there's a broadcast where the commentators are talking about Germie Bernard between plays. They say, we asked Alabama's coaching staff, who's your best player? They all said Germie Bernard, because not only is he their best receiver, he's also their best ball carrier. He's their best blocker at the wide receiver position. And sometimes in practice, we play him at defensive back because he might be our best DB. Hilarious thing to say. And
here's the other double pass on Germie's tape. Just clean execution. Not a whole lot of college teams that trust a wide receiver to throw multiple passing attempts in a single season. Another nice yards after catch play, bubble screen, and you see the elusiveness. He splits a couple blocks here to squirt through, breaks a tackle, and then on the alternate angle we're gonna see he gets literally punched in the face and still hangs on to this ball. Pow! Just a tough dude, just tough as nails. He runs another middle screen type of concept, like an angle screen, I call it. And I don't really need to commentate about this, but he puts another nasty stiff arm. Get off me, get off me, two stiff arms, combined with the lateral maneuverability is just, I don't see how this isn't superstar material here. Just the ability to make plays. That's all you gotta do. You wanna produce yards and touchdowns in the NFL, just make plays happen. Come on. This play is just a fun one. He's our tight split, slip screen. 1, 2, 3 people miss. And he's down before that ball pops out.
his ability to tightrope down the sideline after the catch. He runs like a stick nod, sort of out and up, double move here, slips past the zone into the hole shot, and then up the sideline.
We're gonna go Germie Bernard. Let's get into it, right?
Yeah, please.
You know what I love about his game? It's boring.
Oh, it's so well put.
And I mean in the best way. Like all he does is get open, catch the ball, knife upfield, make a guy miss, and get what he can.